But, you know, a judge may decide otherwise. Vic does not physically appear in these productions. Only his voice is used for the English dubbing or revoicing of the Japanese voice actors. Monica and Jamie are also voice actors. Both have worked for Funimation. Ronald is Monica's fiance still, and either a Funimation agent or employee. Now, many people out there are confused by this line, including a certain chair violator, and including Ronald Toye himself is confused by this line. Lol, no, I'm not. Hey, lol, idiot. Two of the other parties in this case, Monica and Jamie, had a little circle jerk about how making very public statements and openly representing you as a high-ranking person in Funimation. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Very interesting that not only would they represent you as a high-ranking staff member of Funimation, but you would, as we will note, profess over and over and over that you had access to confidential inside information about a confidential investigation involving HR at Funimation. Here's the thing. Let me give you a little lesson on principal agent law, because this is interesting. And for my homies out there about to take the bar, pay attention to your principal agency stuff, because I can guarantee you, just about guarantee you, that there is a principal agency question on the essay portion of your bar. It's coming. You're gonna at least have to address this. So take notes. When you hold yourself out as having apparent agent authority to the public, and the public, a member of the public, not a member of a specific niche fan community, but a member of the public, reasonably would believe that assertion to be correct and factual, and would make decisions relying on that assertion of that apparent authority, guess what, my friend? Agency liability can go right up to the principal. In this case, that means that Ron, in having not only himself representing through the unending usage of this confidential investigation information that he was so privileged to have, but coinciding with verified Funimation employees specifically alleging that Ron is an agent, or at least a vice principal acting on behalf of Funimation, you might have just implied that you are acting as an agent. Not just implied, you have held yourself out to the public as acting as an agent for a principal in Funimation, and thus expose Funimation to liability, for which I'm sure Funimation would have no interest in going after you for fraudulently representing yourself as such, and your fiance as fraudulently representing yourself as an agent for their company when they have to pay damages to Vic Mignogna. Wouldn't that be embarrassing that your careless, thoughtless, dancing on the corpse of a man crusade on Twitter brought you to hold yourself out for reasonable people, to reasonable members of the public passing by and looking at this going, yeah, that guy probably is a Funimation manager, because not only does his fiance say he is, but he's holding himself out as having specific access to a confidential human resources investigation that no one should have. And oh my God, it would be really unfortunate and embarrassing if you had tweet after tweet after freaking stupid tweet saying that that's a confidential thing and people on the internet shouldn't have access to it. Only Funimation employees, only Funimation employees and people involved in this investigation should have access to it. Tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet of evidence. You brainlet, you brain dead moron. And and guess what? When Monica goes up to the judge and says, nah, just joking, bro. Harmless joke, just a prank. And Oh my God, if only Ty's team will be able to point to tweet after forum post after Facebook post of people saying, no, Monica's husband, Monica's fiance, Ron Toye, is high up at Funimation. Monica said so. Jamie said so. Dominique the Moron Sky all said so. Oh my God. You brilliant people, welcome to Law 201. Because it's not Law 101 anymore. There is endless evidence that reasonable people, members in the community, who might have reason to have a little bit of elevated knowledge above the general public, have a very reasonable belief that you, Ron Toye, work for Funimation. Why? Because you acted like it and your wife said it. And Jamie, her little cohort, who she has corroborated the investigation of several times, yeah, she said it too. You idiots. You thought this was a game. It's not a game. And yeah, you know what's great? I can say all of this to you. And it won't matter a bit in court.